Yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk, guys. Happy Saturday and good morning. Hope you guys have a good weekend or the rest of your weekend. This will be the last of my 1.13 videos. I will be busy making the 1.14 stuff. As the new patches come out, it's a good break. I can clean out all my old content and start gathering new stuff. And I think because 1.14 is so significantly different, then everything from this point will be 1.14. That being said, please, if you've got a replay you want me to look at or something interesting or a great game or something crazy, continue to send me in that good content. And the reason I wanted to cover this one last 1.3 video because it's from Hank the Tank, which is a new submitter. We haven't seen any of his videos from Clan Gat. And he is platooned with Mad Dog Rob. Not Mad Dog the First, but Mad Dog Rob. Apparently they are proliferating, and I don't know if that's a good thing. That's a good thing, right? Top tier in his Borask. Top tier in his Borask. Malinovka, Prokhorovka, Dorf. Here we are. It is an encounter mode. This is a really pretty large damage game. Has a nice game. We're going to talk about this as we go. He sent me a note and said, hey, I want you to take a look at this if you could. At the end of the battle, I made some mistakes. As always, and while that may be true, the real question is, starting right now, really in garage with your setup. We don't know what his setup is. Looks like he's not carrying binocs or something I can see. But really in garage with your crew and your setup, that's the first step on whether you win a game. We're going to not talk about that, obviously. All we have is the match in front of us. So off we go on Himmelsdorf, Prokhorovka, Kova, Malinovka, Prok. It's Prok, I know. I got it. We are spawned into the north and we're headed over to the hill. We are platooned with a Lurva. Mad Dog Rob, also from Clan Gat. And normally I would say do not split up as a platoon, but we have a Borask and a Lurva. Going to be hard really for those two to go to the exact same place. And this is a actually good map for this discussion, because if you are going to split a platoon up, then have a plan. And I can see that the plan is low on 5-6, looking for shots above. Hank the Tank, notice it's H-E-N-K, T-N-K, not Hank the Tank, but Hank the Tank, all right? That was Will Ferrell, wasn't it? Hank the Tank? What was that movie called? Old School? Old School, I think it was. He's going up to the hill, and they're going to get some crossfires and some synergies. And if you're going to split up a platoon, then make sure you're working the map as appropriate and look for some synergies. We'll get to that. I'll discuss that in just a minute. Synergies is an issue. Now, Hank, we're going to also discuss as we get up here, this is a great line of bushes to take a look. And right off the bat, I'm going to let this happen, and then we're going to talk about it. All right, unfortunately, a little bit unlucky on that. He had a kind of good angle. We just get a couple bounces off there, and there's the light bulb. And now let's have the light bulb right here for everybody who's watching the video. You could have taken that shot without getting spotted. I'm going to actually let this go because this continues to happen. We're going to discuss that in just a minute. So the Lurva and the 122 and the 416 have taken up the 5-6 line. Recently had a video talking about how important 5-6 is. We have a couple guys up here working on the hill. Looks like a T20 and a ISU. Interestingly, an ISU 122S has come up here. And once you get spots on them with the Borask, they should be able to get shots. Additionally, if they can light guys who are popping up, or your ridge runners can light guys who are popping up, then you may have shots down there. What that means is your SA gathering, your technique for that needs to be a lot of over here. What's going on over here? Okay, what's going on over here? Not quite that fast, but you understand what I'm saying. The camera work needs to be gathering SA. So we'll watch what you do here. We'll talk about the bushes in a moment as well. The T20 rolls up, gets right into the bush. This is pretty typical, guys. People just drive into the bush. But if we stop right now and do this, when I zoom in, if I'm not seeing bush on my zoom in, okay, no so to speak's required. All right, we're just going to roll with it. If I'm not seeing bush, then when I fire, the bush isn't there anymore. If I am 15 meters, I believe it is, back, and this gets a little wonky because you don't have any distance from the bush indicator, but what you're looking for is if you're seeing this, well, it's hard to zoom. If you're seeing this, you've got the opaque bush in front of you, they should not see you. Now, some bushes are a little different than others. You do have to be careful. I give it a little bit of a I don't know, a little leeway, maybe a little extra for Mom as I back out of that bush, so to speak. This is not going well as far as that discussion goes, but you understand what I'm saying. We want the bush to be solid. Then I have an outline on the tank, and I might even scooch it back maybe 5 meters or so if I can. And I think if we're up on this big flat area with a nice depression of the Borovsk, we can do that. So we come in and we fire as soon as we reload, and we're immediately spotted. Hold on, wait for it. 3 seconds later, there we go. Boom, boom. That did not have to happen. You spot him. Sometimes you have to get into the bush to spot the guy, and then as he's coming back out. And you got to play that by ear. I mean, sometimes it's a fleeting shot. Maybe they're a one shot. There's a lot of things going on here that may make you take that shot. Right now, trading hit points for a couple hits on a T-43 is not a great idea. You would have got those hits anyway, even had you backed out. And now we're trying to get out of the way. Good news is we didn't get hit. Oh, by the way, when I am up on this flat right here, I am very exposed to their 5-6 line. So that is another reason why I do not want to get spotted shooting in this line of bushes. If I can move back enough to get a couple shots off, not get spotted and schwacked by the guys down below, that is beautiful. I do not want them to get shots. Also, and only I have turned my camera this way. I haven't seen you do that yet. Now let's just see if we can come up with maybe a shot down there real quick once these guys get lit up again. I don't know what your comms were with Mad Dog. I'm assuming you two were talking about what's over there. You know there's a 703 and 122. You know there's an IS-3. So this guy pokes out. So what I do here, he's lit. He's got his light going off. He knows someone is there seeing him. Right now, just back out. Look, the T-20 is actually in there as well. He got a little crazy going in there. Back out, make this bush solid, and wait for those nice shots. I like the choice. I mean, you're going for the weak side of the turret. Nice aiming. You could have been outside of their ability to see them if you just back up a little bit right here. All right, one shot. Here's another thing we're going to talk about. You have one shell left. You took a shot, they back off. You have one shell left. Hit C. Or, what I talked about earlier, pay attention to what's going on down here. So let's see, as we back out, if we get a shot, maybe. And there were a couple opportunities here that I noticed where you could get a shot. All right, he's back down, so he's not a factor. You needed to hit C so that as you're... It's a really fast reload, actually, with the Borovsk. It's one of the reasons why this two-shot autoloader is kind of broken in this game. Oh, by the way, the new Skoda T56 has a similar situation going on. When it's allowed to do its thing, it's pretty brutal. So hit C and get that shell reloaded. And look at all the time you've got. You knew you had 10 seconds. If you were going to go back, plus you're going to give a couple seconds for Mom, maybe 12 seconds. There are some skills out there that make you lit for a little bit longer. Might as well just hit C and get yourself reloaded. By the time you drove forward and got ready, holy cow. And there's no reason to go any further than about right here. And this is where that is what you want to see. Right there. That is what you want to see. So we come over here. Let's take a look at what's going on here. We don't have any shots on the IS-3. Nice shot right there. And we back out. And unfortunately, we probably didn't have a second shot because of him backing out. But if we did, we didn't have the shell because we didn't bother to reload. You do that a couple times. Timing the reloads on an autoloader is not easy. Now, there we go. This is what I'm talking about. If you're looking over here, especially on a reload, why not just turn around and go, all right, what's going on over here? Oh, look at this. I might get shots on this guy. So it's gathering SA. The human brain, people call it multitasking. I can tell somebody's kind of task saturated. All right? From all of my flying and training, when other things start to fall out of the cross-check, you know they're task saturated. You've had all kinds of opportunities on this guy down here. Look at this. Nice flat side. Just thump him a couple times right in the old side. Of course, now you've got the Tiger, so that's fine. He's pushing up in the bush. We've got guys that have been popping up over here. And once again, he came up. All you had to do, the second you saw him start coming up, back out to that bush is dark, and then pop him twice. And he's not going to be able to see it. You shoot him once. We get him twice, but we're seeing, uh-oh. This is very bad. Tiger's looking at us, and I know I've got guys down here. What's this guy doing? He's not looking at me yet. But there's a... Ow! There is a 703-122. And holy cow, there went a bunch of our votes right there. A bunch of our votes. So now we're talking about Late game, when you get into the decision making, we'll talk about that when we get there, but that part of the game limited your capability at the end of the game, and we're only a few minutes into it at 11:51. So never mind the decisions at the end. If we could have avoided that, which was entirely avoidable, we'd have been in a lot better shape later on. We just have more options. There you go. So now we're kind of thinking about it, but we go a little too far forward. And sometimes you have to do that to get the spot. That's all good. Now back out. Back out. It's only a couple feet. You only scooched up a little bit. And we're just like, oh, okay, we're going to take that shot and back out and get lit. And take another hit. So now we're down to 97 hit points, and we're really, really hurting. In terms of votes late game and things that we can do, having hit points allows you to trade those hit points for certain things. Trade them for another shot, trade them for a position, trade them for time, whatever the case may be. We've given all that up, and we simply did not even have to at all with where we were. That bush is so easily used, and now we're at one shell again. C. We're heading out. Let's get reloaded. No sense cruising around with just one shell. Oh, by the way, what's going on over here? We're going to come up maybe. Well, we should check it. Looks like you looked that way. You actually did look that way on that one. But we don't come up just enough to go, okay, do I have a shot on this guy? Well, it looks like maybe not, but I think he's behind that building top. And let's see if we can... Nope, he went away. All right. The point being, though, let's look over there and pay attention. All right? So the discussion about humans being able to multitask, what they're really... which they're not really able to do. You can't pay attention to two things at once. What you can do is prioritize, compartmentalize, and move from thing to thing very quickly. And that's what you want to train yourself to be able to do. You can only really pay attention to one thing, but some people can move from those things very quickly. And this, we got a little too high on the depression, and we sneak up underneath. Oh, actually, I thought you got the kill, but Super Hellcat got the kill. Good on him. One shell, hit C. And then the 122S loses his mind, drives up, gets hit in the side. Not really sure what his plan is, but I think he dies quickly here. We finally kind of take a look down there, and we don't find it, and then we just sort of go back to here, which is fine. But let's move up a little higher and see if we can't somehow. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Let's pop that guy once. It would be lovely to pop him twice if I'd have hit C earlier. So we come up here, and we're still really tasked. We just really want to get rid of this care, and it is important. We want to clear off this hill, but the game's an HP reduction game at its heart, and it's a positioning game also. So what's really the priority right now? Well, the KR's not doing a whole bunch. Let's start whittling away these guys down below here and start helping our 5-6 line guys. And then we get spotted, which I'm not really sure. Did you fire? Maybe you did while I was talking. No, don't know. I'm not. You got spotted, I think, because you were off to the left of the bush or some such thing right there. I was yapping too much. So we come back. We started getting reloaded. 2,816 damage, 1,606 assist. Once again, up here trying to figure out how we're going to get this 46 KR, and we sneak a shot into. That's not a bad idea, but you could have done that by moving back and not getting spotted right there. And then this was hilarious. So we're just like, we'll just shoot you too. How about that? There we go. RNG. You miss every shot you don't take, right? Do you miss it? Not really. But you lose the damage on every shot you don't take, maybe? Something of that nature. I thought that was actually pretty good. But we're down to 16 shells and 6 HE. I don't know why you're carrying 6 HE in this tank. We'll get to that in a little while. 2 or 4 at the most, unless you like doing the counter scout thing and it's been working out for you, I suppose. That might be okay, but I think really for me, I would not be carrying 6 HE. And we hang out here. Now we've got shots. Now this is what I was talking about earlier. You're going to be able to punish this poor guy. You're going to thump him. He's going to eat 356. He's going to say, I don't like that. And you're going to take another shot. We're going to follow him around, and we get an armor not hit. So we hit the mantlet, or we hit the tracks, or sprocket, or God knows what. And then he backs out. All right, let's take an assessment of what's going on in this game. We're down 1,500 hit points. We both have 10 kills. They have a number of TDs on their side. There's still a 703 and an IS in the middle. And if we count noses, we know where everybody is, or at least we did last time they were spotted. More than likely, most of those guys are still over on the 1-2 line, which is lost other than the Panther M10. And we've got some guys down on cap. Lots of low hit point guys minus the Super Hellcat. This is the part of the game where a mobile tank like the Barras becomes very deadly. And unfortunately, what happens here is we kind of hang out on this hill, and we don't use much imagination right here. We are going to get some lights and some shots, which is nice. So we find this dude. We go back to the bush. Thought that was not a bad idea. And you're looking for a good shot. That's the front of a 703-2, 122. Not that easy to pin. He's moving around a little bit. Gives you some side turret. You make a nice decision here and put 340 on him. And then we're looking at him again. What do we try? I don't remember. Unfortunately, the Lance and C dies. That's not helpful. And we're looking for another shot on this guy. And we can't figure it out. All right. So why not move up to these bushes and start looking for the dude and get a better idea of where he is? Because what we were looking at was the silhouette through many bushes. Good, we're not getting spotted, but we don't have a good idea of where he is and where he might poke out next, or where I can maybe knock something down or wait for him to scooch out. If we get here and then back off that enough to make those opaque and scoot forward to look, maybe spot him, scoot back, take the shot, that's going to work out really nicely. Also, too, and in addition to, I don't have any shots, hit C, get both shells back. Nothing going on right here at the moment, unless you think you're going to try to support the 416. There we go, and that's not bad. Then we back out because we just want as many bushes as possible. Looks like the Panther M10 is getting pushed by the HTC, but we get the IS, and we only have one shell. Ah, this is a bummer. IS is moving in. He wants to put 2 on cap, and now we're thinking maybe a little bit about repositioning, and we finally hit C. I think this row of bushes down here is your best bet. I really do. You're going to see them have some good ability to look down on the town and figure out where they are. You might not be able to back off of those because of the incline right here enough to be dark when you shoot, but you may get some good shots and then duck down into that hole and then reposition from there. I just like that a little bit more forward, get some spotting, help your guys figure it out. The Panther M10 actually beat the HTC. So we come around here, and then we finally start seeing these guys, and this is good. There's the IS. Unfortunately, they've killed our 416. This guy sneaks out, and we almost have a shot, but that's his front, so that's going to be hard to pin. He peeks back. He knows you're up there, obviously. Looks like we're trying to knock down buildings, and this is actually pretty good. You sneak a shot right through there and thump him, and he's probably like, oh my gosh, that sucked. Now he's just out in the open. So he got hit behind a building, and depending on how good he is and how well he assessed the direction, he didn't like that, so he's actually backed out into the open on you. And makes another mistake by knocking the building down, and you're just about reloaded, and we delete that guy. Nicely done. Hit C immediately. C immediately, because you got all kinds of time. You got 2 minutes. Get your 2 shells back. Even if the guy popped out, no big deal. Just hit C immediately, get reloaded. So you've shot that dude twice. And I think what you were doing up here was okay. I talked a little bit about the micro positioning on the hill, a couple places you might want to think about. But right now, I think it's time to start thinking about going somewhere else. So we try to knock down the building, and unfortunately, that's one of those ones that takes multiples. I find that if you hit the bottom, the base of it, it does a little bit better than hitting the roofs. The roofs sometimes take a lot of hits, but if you hit that part right there, it'll knock down a bunch of the building. If you really wanted to get after it, maybe load up an HE clip and knock a couple of them down. But clearly this isn't working, right? Right? I'm not seeing anything. I know he's there. I know he's behind that building somewhere. Why not just come off of this area, go over here, take a peek in these forward bushes? You may not even take a shot, but at least you get a better view of what the hell's going on down there. There he goes. For some reason he starts to move, which I can't figure out. And we're very patient, which is nice. You're looking for that nice shot. I think he actually gives it to you here. Might move sideways or some crazy thing. He's taking a hit from the Hellcat. And then he gives you side, and that's a nice shot right there. He shoots into the bush. Thank goodness he did not hit. And then the Hellcat takes him down. So, all right, now let's get moving. Let's figure this out. There's the Su-100. So 2 choices. Get off the hill, go try to find the Su-152, maybe catch him out in the middle if he's moving towards the cap, which I bet he is. Or flex over to the Super Hellcat and put 2-on-1 against the 100M1 before the Su-152 can become a factor and help him take it out. And it looks like you choose that. So So the Hellcat's doing his best to survive against a 100 M1, which is a pretty tough opponent for a Hellcat, unless he can get it from the side. And you as well. The front armor is going to be very strong, especially with just your regular APCR. So we come over here and we find this guy, and we're looking for a shot. He's sitting there. Take a blind shot, maybe just trying to help the Hellcat. Long zoom in. Another one, but not enough. Hellcat hurts himself going down the hill, and we're on a reload. Now we start talking about time in this game. How much time do you really have to screw around with this M1 while he's moving on Super Hellcat, and knowing that the SU-152 is probably helping? Oh, by the way, he just got on cap. So now we know where the 152 is. So why not flex down to here again, see if you can find the 152 from down here, and take him out of the equation. You know where he is. For the moment, the Hellcat's probably fine. It would be unusual to me if the Su-100 just YOLO'd over the hill, knowing that there was a Borovsk bushed up on top right there. So you probably have a little while for the Super Hellcat. And I thought you were going to move down there, and then all of a sudden we take the long road. We take the long road. I certainly would not have come off north of the hill, so I thought that was a good idea not to do that. More than likely you get spotted by either the 152 or the 100 M1, and now you're way out in the open. So I see you come around here, and I'm thinking, okay, this is not a bad idea. They think you're on the hill. If the Hellcat can stay alive for long enough, which I don't like what he's doing now. I don't really understand why he's doing that. Zinging around there. Maybe you can come in, assassinate the 152 real quick, and then we'll start working on the Su-101, and the Hellcat gets the guy lit. So here we go. Su-152 is going to be... Su-152 is going to... There he is. So he gets lit. All right, not on the cap. Doesn't really matter. He wasn't going to cap out, and unfortunately, he gets the Hellcat. But we know he's right there. So here we go, and I'm thinking, oh, we got this. This is beautiful. We're going to come right about here, and as soon as we get a light, as soon as we can get a shot on this guy, we're going to take him. And what I have to be honest with you, I have no idea why we did this. Because what we do is we come screaming in here, we come up and over, and holy macaroni, we are now exposing ourselves, so to speak. You know, we got our kimono open, and we're saying, hey, Su-101, let's joust. I bet you can't hit me. You get this guy, which was nice, and then the next thing that blew my mind is we just go at this guy. So somehow this works out. I have no idea. We come zinging in here. There's the Su-100. We cut back to the right, and all of a sudden I'm thinking, oh, this is genius. Okay, I got you. Get up behind this building and hide. That'll work. We'll hide behind this building. Maybe go dark. Maybe we can move around through these bushes a bit. Get a little peeky at this guy and figure it out. But we have other ideas. He shoots and misses. That's very helpful. And we drive right up and over. I'm thinking he's going to kill him right here. And he just doesn't quite have it. And then, I mean, this is a series of, I have to tell you, this is a series of it's driving me a little bit crazy right here. You wanted to get down in here, period. Why you're driving around higher up here, highlighting yourself to where this dude may actually get a shot. I mean, I'm just like, well, how are you still alive? I don't know, but we are. You know those videos I shouldn't... Those videos I shouldn't be alive. All right, we cut back over here. And then this is camera work while driving. We have... What is this guy doing? We don't even know what this guy's doing. All we know is we're driving this way. Man, you got to be watching this. And I would have auto-aimed him as I went, and just keep rolling. And if my gun cleared, I'd take a shot. But this is what we're doing. We're not even looking at this guy, and then somehow this happens, which absolutely blows my mind. Goodness gracious. Oh, God loves a drunk, my friends. Holy macaroni. All right, so we come up and over here, trying to use our maneuver. The problem is the 100M1 is actually quite maneuverable, and it has very good hole traverse. This is going to be a very difficult proposition for you right here. We've got 3 APCR rounds, and then we come up top, and holy macaroni. Then we cut, and I thought, oh, this is actually not bad. Right now, so as I come at him, I aim in with a little zoom, and I shoot him right there. Or you can auto-aim him and come up beside him and go pop, pop, and maybe kill him. So let's see what happens. There we go. Pop. Pop. And you might even want to stick with him. You might even want to stick with him, but we bail out. So he was running off, right? I think if you'd have stuck with him, you might have been in good shape. But you're not reloaded, so you wouldn't have got a shot anywhere around but about here. He turns, and ooh, that was just a little bit close. Okay. Not bad. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. All the way back to the beginning when we took 3 hits that we did not have to take in any way. From the rest of the time after that, you played really well as far as not taking hits. Really nice job not taking hits. So we know we can do it. Give me one of those back. Give me the 390 from the IS or whatever it was, IS3 or whatever it hit me for 3. Maybe it was the 703. Give me the 300 or almost 300 from the Tiger, and I got this thing. I hit 3. I load up 2 HE shells. I have my 300 plus hit points, and I just drive up and over. I let him shoot me once. I pop him twice with the HE, aiming closely not to hit mantlets or something, and game over, we win. Right? Game over, we win. We go ahead and hit 3 so we can reload. If you're going to go around somebody like this, you put as much distance between you and he as possible. I'd have been on the line. I'd have been on the red line. I don't want to get seen by him. I thought that was really dangerous doing this right here. It's just way closer than you need to be. Be over here. Come down through here and up here. Get as much distance so that that little white and green line that are transposed over each other are as close to him as possible on the, outside kind of idea. I don't want him to see me. So let me come around here, and I'm thinking, all right, well, this is not a bad idea. One of the biggest failings, guys, for players who are trying to learn the mid to late game is not understanding approach angles, the spotting system, and the maps. If that Sioux is in the same place, and he may not be, he may have headed up the hill, there is a pretty good approach angle right here, which may get you in unspotted on what he's doing, especially if he feels trapped and doesn't want to move. I'm going to show you which way we go. We come all the way up here, and now we're just out in the open. We're high in altitude. We've come well up the hill. Really, we should have crossed low right here, right by this tank. Come right up into these bushes around this building. The buildings have cover. There's bushes, and just taking a little peekaboo right there. And if I don't find him out in this flat, now I get worried because he's probably moved himself up on the hill, and I get out of there because he's not out here in the open. He's done something smart, and I'm going to have to get out of here and figure out a better way. But what we've done is we've just driven out into the open right here. Then I thought, oh, maybe he's going to use that bush. Maybe he likes this bush for the approach. So we come, nope, we're not even going to use that bush. We just cut right, and we're out in the open. And there he is. He's actually seen us for 3 seconds. So he bushed up. He sat. Why we're not dead, I don't know. And we stop, and he's trying to aim. We fire. Holy cow, and we die. I mean, if that was our game and we were going to use speed, we should have auto-aimed him, fired, jumped for these buildings, and then fired as I went around the buildings and just hoped for the best. But we stopped. We stopped and gave him a really easy shot. 5,788 damage, 1,708 assists, 4 kills, and a very near thing. 3 hit points. The HE just did not come through for us on that last shot. We got 30 of the 33 that he had, so I like the idea. But we talked about the errors at the end, but the fact is they wouldn't have been errors or even a problem if we could have maintained more votes earlier in the battle. And it was entirely possible. So your bush, everything else was looking pretty good. And I know you know the bush mechanics because I saw you use them later. Earlier in the game, I think if you'd have been a little more careful with the bushing up, this would have been pretty much a massacre, to be honest. You'd have had a lot more hit points. I think you might have been able to keep a couple of your tanks alive based on having those votes. And I said massacre. It would have been, I think, an easier win. At the very least, even if it got to the same situation, if you'd have been able to take a hit, even just one right here, you win. And that's how important early decisions in this game are. They're just critical. It all builds on itself. Everything at the end of the game that's going on has everything to do with what you did at the beginning of the game or didn't do. All right, man. Thanks for sending in. It was a good game. Real heartbreaker right there. I mean, you almost got there. There's a lot of good decisions being made. We talked about some of the other things about gathering SA, camera work, bush mechanics as we beat to death, approach angles for mid to late game, coming up over the middle at the Sioux, and I think you could have just went up over the berm, just peek over the berm, use suppression, pop him twice, and skedaddle. Disappear and come at this Sioux 100 M1 from a different direction, as opposed to just YOLOing in there after the guy. Be honest, you got away with it quite a bit. He took a couple shots, he just plain old missed. Should have been able to probably to hit you, but RNG has its vote too. All right, guys, that is all I've got. So that's the end of that for Saturday. The next videos will be 1.14. As I said at the beginning, keep sending me the content. It allows me to clean out old stuff and start afresh. From there, you will be seeing some things on 1.14. I'm about to go download it now. I'm actually doing this video on Tuesday. So I'm going to go download it, get started, and we'll start digging through that. And we'll see what, I was going to say Equipment 2.0, but that wasn't it. Field modifications have in store for the game. That's all I've got. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you.